Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? Paul, what's going on? I'm back. I'm back. Um, Back from Nashville. We spent a couple days out there with friends celebrating one of our friends' 30th birthday. It was a good time. It was a really good time. Good experience. Never been. Um, yeah. How was everyone's weekend? How was your weekend, Paul? What did you get up to? Um, I We, like I said, we've never been. Good morning. It's coming up here. What's up, buddy?
Good morning, Dom.
Hey, how are you?
I'm on the fingerprint background again,
Yeah, I see that.
or
Nice.
seashells, or
Or
smudges.
seashells. Oh, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Golly, it went fast.
Did you have days off?
We had Friday off. I can't remember what day it was. I was on
That was Valentine's Day.
morning. I think maybe it was Friday. Got to hang out with Paul. We chatted a bit. I got to meet Haley. Haley, right, Paul? That's what
Oh,
yours.
like he came up with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We made it a full half an hour, which I was really
Heartbreak.
surprised.
That's great.
More for me. Okay, I wrote down notes, lasted me about halfway through the show, and then me and Paul had a good time chilling. Talked about the book, met the family. So Good Friday. Yesterday went to Meow Wolf with my oldest and Kristen. Have you heard of Meow Wolf yet?
No, what is that?
Oh God, how do I explain it? Is so imagine Alice in Wonderland, and there's no right angles. It's like a warehouse. It's just like this big event. It's a big event space. There's some kind of a narrative that goes along with all the rooms. There's no right
Okay.
angles. You don't recognize anything, but everything is nostalgic.
Hmm.
It's I'm not really sure what to describe it now as, but it was like we spent 2 hours there. It's like we walked
You
out of there and like the real world was boring.
Interesting. So it's like a space that you walk through and look at or interact with or whatever. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like a touch museum, but
yeah, got it. Okay.
it's
Yep.
like but it's also an art exhibit. It's like a living
Mm-hmm.
otherworldly art exhibit where everything looks
Huh.
familiar. Uh
Is it like a traveling pop-up thing, or
no,
is it like
there's
always in Colorado where you are?
I'll say this. Willy Wonka, the part where he goes through the tunnel on the boat with the entire crew,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of like what it was. I would totally
So you
go
guys had a
again.
good time?
Yeah, it was great. How about you guys? What
Awesome.
was your weekend away?
So I was out in Nashville with my wife and some friends celebrating one of our friends' birthdays. That's what she wanted to do for her big 30th birthday. Um, so a bunch of us went out there. There was eight of us, and we club hopped like we were 20, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very exhausting. I, I'm looking forward to sleeping in and all those normal adulting things after 3 solid days of that.
Yeah,
It was a
awesome.
lot.
I'm glad you did that. I love when older what a word
Older's fine, dude.
what a terrible
I
thing to
feel
say.
older.
More mature adults partake in the young adult things again.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was an experience. I'd never been. The layouts of buildings and bars were very interesting. Like multi-floor bars is something new to me. Every floor there was a different band or a different setup or a different what have you, different vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was crazy. We did a lot of walking, a lot of steps. Some of us in high-heeled boots, and some of us in normal walking shoes. I was definitely the most comfortable because I didn't have any I was like I knew I was going to be walking a lot, so I was like, I'm just bringing my walking shoes. Like I don't care if they don't go with
I don't
you know
care if it
how.
doesn't go, I don't care if it doesn't match my bootcut jeans.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so, but my wife, there were a couple of nights where my wife was hurting.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys did that. And now we have an undiagnosed sickness in the house. So we're wrapping up this long weekend nicely.
Oh,
Going
sweet.
strong with one of my kids. We'll see if it spreads.
Hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm darting around here. I'm on my wife's workspace, and everything is reverse of my desk, and it's really weird. I'm trying to find my bearing here.
Yeah, it happens. So we're on day 17. There were some good ones this weekend. I didn't read at all. I think I read the first day, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I just couldn't find my rhythm. Being out till 2 a.m. and waking up at 8 or 9 in a different time zone was just a little weird for me.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely feel off my game as well. Not for any reason. Like Thursday was good, and then Friday night I just kind of rocketed ahead and just kind of kept reading pages.
in the daily
Got,
bag.
got, got up till March, which I was like, I thought I was I was doing really good. I was like, okay, I'm going to save every page. I have a little present to myself in the morning, and then one night Friday I just kind of like got into finishing the month.
How is it reading the book like that?
It's like listening to a podcast on like 1.5 or times 2 speed. It's like you pick up some words,
Yeah.
you're probably missing all the important points.
Do you don't have another book right now that you're reading that like could have
Oh,
could
I
have
have a whole
given you?
stack of books that I haven't even touched.
Okay.
The 1 page a day format is really nice. I like it, but uh,
Have you read any of Ryan Holiday's other books?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
He did drop a great piece of knowledge this morning, though, and I gotta find it. It's all about procrastination, which is really, really up my alley this morning. I
Okay.
gotta find this one. I'm not even gonna say it might be my gratitude for today.
Oh, nice.
Because I had a long weekend, but I still have things to plan for. Like I have a presentation, I'm doing an AI presentation on Wednesday for teachers, and I have it maybe a quarter of the way prepared.
Okay.
I told
All right.
myself I would start it yesterday, and then yesterday I told myself I would do it today.
Oh, do you have the day off today though?
I do have the day off, but a day off at home
Just no
with
day off.
family is not really a day off. To procrastinate is to be entitled. It is arrogant. It assumes there will be a later. It assumes you'll have the discipline to get to it later, despite not having the discipline now. That cut deep,
Mm.
sure.
And that was from Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would have been in his discipline book.
Uh,
He has a book all about discipline.
yeah, that was a good slap in the face for me this
Do you
morning.
need do you need to maybe you need to jump into his discipline book then?
Yeah, I need. No, I don't know. I'm nailing some things, not nailing others. What's your gratitude today, Tom?
I mean, mine was of course centered around having a fun, enjoyable weekend with friends, an adult weekend, a no kid weekend. My in-laws for taking care of the kids. They said the kids were great. The kids had a great time with the in-laws. They, celebrated Valentine's Day without us for the first time in probably forever, but they all had a good time. They all felt loved. We talked to Bentley, video called us the morning of his birthday, and he was in good spirits. He wasn't, crying or asking for mom or anything like that. So it just was a very successful weekend away altogether.
Good.
Yeah. Whoa. Jason just rage quit on my screen. I don't know if he did on yours, but yeah, I guess his wife really wanted him out of her office. Um, and he's back.
Press the wrong button.
All right.
Yeah, I also had a kid birthday. We had a 6-year-old. We had a sixth birthday at a ninja place.
Yeah. Nice. How was that? It's good.
It was action packed. I feel. I think I talked about this last weekend. Was it already last weekend? This was already last weekend.
The birthday was last weekend, right? But she actually
yeah.
turned. She turned 6.
Yeah.
The day before Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Party was great. Time is flying. Tom, I am not in control this morning.
Better lock it in, man. You got a presentation on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I have one on Wednesday too.
All right, let's do this together.
I'll be in the same boat. Although, sorry, I just literally just took that head. I was turning away from you guys, but that my headphones in this direction. But yeah, I have a presentation on Wednesday, and then since it's President's Day, not half. What is it? It'd be 2/3. I think 2/3 of my projects are closed down because the cities that I work in, they get to choose, these additional holidays, and some of them take all the holidays off and close down construction, and then the one where my main project is in Redondo, they only take 5 days off a year, where you're not allowed to do construction, and every Sunday, but they don't observe holidays on different days. Like if July 4th is a Sunday, then they don't care. You can almost work every day of the year. But I'm gonna stay home for a little bit to get a little bit more time with the kids, and then I'll leave probably around lunchtime. So I'll spend the evening working on that project.
Speaking of the reading, which we didn't do, have you not read since Thursday?
No, I just literally just read it all this morning.
Okay.
So that's where I was going. I was saying I was basically saying I didn't read, but I have read them.
You kind of did.
I have caught up. There were some good ones this weekend. It was the same thing with my other daily book. I read Ryan's other book, The Daily Stoic. There were some good ones in that one too, and I I thought to myself, the reason why you have this reading ritual that I've developed is that it also sparks reflection, and it's in the reflection that helps me in a day-to-day basis. And when I don't read it, I look back and I'm like, on some of those readings, I'm like, I really could have used that reading that day. And I find myself saying that more often than not when I skip. I really could have used that reading. Not necessarily always because of the reading, but more because of the reflection that comes afterwards. So I get constant reminders that I need to read every day, but then I still don't do it. When I'm in a different space, it's hard. But yeah, there were some good ones. Keep the main thing, and this is what they want the most. What was that one about?
That was the one. That was Thursdays. That was they just want your admiration. They want you to recognize the cool things they do, which I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Actually, I asked my daughter that We had a mommy, daddy, daughter date yesterday. That was our Meow Wolf trip.
Yeah.
And we had breakfast, and I asked her and Kristen, I asked, hey, is there anything that you don't feel like you're being recognized for? And she said no. So I was happy about that there wasn't anything that we were neglecting on purpose or not on purpose. Was it Wednesdays? It was a really good one. I wish I was on for, but I missed it. The 14th. Oh, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's the one we were talking about in the text. That one was a good perspective on how loving your partner translates like to your kids' eyes. That's why I like that one. It's not necessarily like just to think, just it wasn't like some of them where it's just like, oh yeah, and you should love your partner. It's like, no, like love. And I think about this often with my girls, and I'm sure you do too, is like showing them the proper way that a man, because they're girls, a man should treat a woman, or one spouse should treat another spouse, so that when they go out looking for their spouse, they're looking for
They have an
something
example.
similar. And if you're just behind closed doors or doing the relationship thing while they're at school, or not telling them about your dates or telling them about your weekend away, they might not get as much information from that. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that was one I wish that I intended to make time to like go back on it, maybe even talk with you guys about it. And like one of the thoughts I just had while you talking was mostly maybe the college years and like post college years where it's like maybe you have friends that keep like dip diving into like not good decisions as far as relationships go. Hang on, my dog's out of pencil. Only to later learn that, like, yeah, they didn't really have a really positive example of what a good relationship looks like. One where you don't have to constantly feel like you're impressing somebody or feeling like you're in some kind of deficit. And that was my takeaway from that one. That was my reflection piece.
All right, so how about today's? You got notes on today's?
Yes, this one was less deep. The thing. So this was about how when you try to hide things from parents, that like maybe things that you're going through, they probably know. And when I think about the times when I tried to hide my struggles, my parents probably knew anyway. And they were waiting for me to make that move into whatever the resolution was. For example, here's one. When it was after college, and I was still living at home for like a year, and I was like in this habit of like, I was a smoker. I was a smoker, Dom, for like 2 or 3 years. I'm not happy to admit that. But I kept a pack of cigarettes in my car, and my dad woke up one morning, took my car to the store to get paper and coffee, and he came back, and I woke up, came down the stairs, and he was like, hey, I took your car out to get newspaper. And that was it. Because like it was something I was hiding, because it's not something that I was open about. And I was like, oh, I think this is him telling me that he knows the thing that I'm doing that I don't want him to know. That's so
Yeah.
Like there's been other little instances like that growing up as well. That's kind of what I took the reading as, reflecting on those times when parents know, but they don't tell you know, and you don't know if they know or if they don't know. And it's like this big chess game in your head.
it's very interesting. I don't know that I can think of anything, but I'm sure there were plenty of things. I think about just maybe just going out at night, quote unquote sneaking out and then sneaking back in, that kind of thing. There were a couple of times where I've definitely been caught doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. I'm very interested to see how that evolves with my kids, to see what I would know that they don't think I know. Like, uh, when is something you hide from your parents is something good? Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious to know what my kids would be hiding from me. I think my wife knew the other day that our middle child, had cut her hair. And so I got a little bit of that conversation where it was like, "Did you cut your hair?" And she's like, she did that whole like, "No," like, going into that. But yeah, my wife is pretty in tune, so I'll let her do all the knowing, and I'll do all the whatever I'm doing. But yeah, and then it turned out to be a little bonding experience between the two of them because she did a really good job cutting her hair, and so mom, was like, "Oh, I'm okay with it." She's like, "I used to cut my hair when I was your age and not tell my parents." She's like, "I don't want us to have that." Like, my wife has said that many times to our girls. Like, "I don't want you to have like these parts of the relationship that I had with that she had with her own mom." She's like, "So I'd much rather you tell me. Like, I have no problem helping you do it." She like gave her some pointers and like, showed her like the right way to do things, and it was a cute moment between her and Brooklyn.
Mhm.
So yeah, hiding things from parents, or our kids hiding things from us. And the moral here is basically, they're like David's saying, there is a reason why they're hiding it. That even I if it's not, it may be something that they know that you're not going to approve of, or maybe something that they themselves know that they don't really approve of, like maybe with your smoking, and that they're a little embarrassed that they're doing it, or a little ashamed. But like, as the parent, it's our job to still make them feel loved, feel warm, feel like they're home. I think you've mentioned it a bunch of times that your home is a safe place for them to
Screw up.
just, yeah, screw up, be themselves, let their guard down, not, like, take the armor off that they put on as they go out into the world, uh, and just kind of let that sigh of relief go out. And you know yeah.
Here's something. My mom's visiting right now.
Okay.
And this is loosely on the topic of parents knowing or not knowing. She bought me gas yesterday for my truck, which is great. I always love it, and I really appreciate it. Um, I will never, I will always take free gas. I will never say, "Hey, I need gas," because I feel like, and because like now I'm thinking about when my daughters are older, and I want to help whenever I can. Um, it's just I think with the example that I think my mom gives me, and Kirsten, and maybe my other two brothers too, Ryan and Kyle, is just like there's always something that can be helped with. Nothing's ever perfect, so we're
Yeah.
human, you know. And she's bought us groceries before when she's visiting. Like that's like awesome. That's like one little bill we don't have to worry about. And those are the things what I'm trying to connect this back with are the things that like we don't think she knows. Like, oh yeah, okay, maybe it's like the end of a tough month and she comes in and saves the day with like, a round of groceries or just a tank
Yeah.
of gas. Those are the things that I want to be aware of when I get to the age of my kids having families or being on their own and being able to, be the hero that they deserve and need.
Yeah. That makes sense too. My mother-in-law is notorious for bringing fresh fruit when she comes over. So, or just going through our fruit and cutting it up and preparing it, or whatever. We normally have strawberries just in the bin, and she will cut through it and put it out, and when it's out, I feel like it gets eaten a little more. But yes, it's incredibly helpful, those little things that they do. um, David, did your kids end up having piercings already, or how did that story go? I find that interesting. We were having a conversation with our 16-year-old, um, because out in Nashville, every uh, the majority of the other friends all got tattoos. I did not, and my wife did not, although she really wanted one. Um, and then the conversation came home because our 16-year-old follows one of the other moms in the group, and she saw that she got a tattoo, and yeah, that's something that's on the radar. Like the my wife and my daughter have the same birthday, and when our daughter turns 18, it's also my wife's 40th birthday. So two big birthdays at once. So there is already the talks of a tattoo session, a mother-daughter tattoo session.
I
Even
think
though the
that
16-year-old was begging last night, not begging, but asking very adamantly last night to get it sooner, because she's saying 18 is so far away, even though it's basically next July, not this July, but next year's.
that is a
So
long.
far away.
Yeah. That was something that I wanted to expound upon, is being like, I know what I feel like I know what the things are that make preteens feel cool, right? So like
Yeah.
tattoos, yeah, that's cool. Belly piercings, that's cool. Plaid pajama pants as like the main outfit, that's
Yeah.
cool, right? And even though I don't totally agree with that, it's like I remember what it feels like to be cool and hip with the times, and like I want my daughter to feel like that. So even though it's like wearing pajamas is not the best idea, I want her to feel like she's with it, because I was rarely with it. I always felt like I got what was cool like a month after it went out of
Mm,
style. And
yeah.
that's something that I always wanted. Like I want my girls to feel like they're in the trend at least once. And
Yeah.
then after that realize that that's, not important. But that's a good feeling. I feel like kids should feel that. Kids should feel like they're on board with what's cool, whether it's a tattoo, something permanent, or something that's removable, or flannel.
Yep. It's a thing. I've seen it at her school. I've seen a couple of kids there with tattoos, so I know it's a thing that goes around. I know it's a thing that's cool. I know it's a thing that she's interested in. I wouldn't mind. I don't care. Like I agree with you. Like it's the cool thing. She wants to do it. We as parents don't mind, but my wife put a hard date on it for the 18th,
Mm.
because that's the law. And I'm like, all right, you do you. I'm not gonna go against your word. And I like the idea of them doing it together, um, on that special birthday. Yeah, it'll be a fun
Are you
moment.
going to do something similar
On uh,
for
on
for
their day.
example, like they're going for the tattoo? Are you going to do something as similar, but maybe not as permanent?
No, so I want to get one, and the only reason I didn't get one in Nashville is because I just haven't put enough thought into what it is that I want,
Yeah.
and so I didn't want to go just. I didn't want anything Nashville themed. Like a bunch of them got, well, two of them got like cowboy hats, and then the other one got a horseshoe. and then the other two got each other's initials. And that just wasn't something that I was interested in doing any of that stuff. And so I wanted to put a little bit more thought into it before I put something else on there.
I got it. I got you.
That's all. So I think I'll have something in mind by my daughter's 18th birthday next July, and if I'm invited to share in that moment with them, I will go. I'll go get something done, and maybe it could be somehow connected to what they're doing. Yeah, I gotta have. It has to be a vibe. You know, the one I have is back here on my neck, and I was vibing with it very hard for many, many years, and I still love it. But at the end of the day, it's back behind me, so I can't even see it that often. So I like that idea. I think the another one might be a little bit more visible, so I want to make sure about it. You know.
I get you. Yeah. Well, if you need help thinking about that, let me know because I like tattoos, even though I only have one.
Okay.
I got to run. We're at
Yep.
33.
All right, everybody.
Gotta
Everybody have a good day.
Fog.
Mugs and coffees, hearts and gratitudes, all that stuff. You know how we do it. And yeah, let's get out of here. Let's go start the day. Let's go be parents.
Hey, y'all. Mugs
See
of
you, bud.
gratitude. Hearts of coffee. See you guys.